Only a truthful person get to talk about what these hateful people has done. In this audio and in this live, I'm going to expose Gale Rieder's emails, the missing emails that cheated my appeal. It's very important that people pay attention to this because in full detail I will explain how Douglas Hanson is cheating and covering, and he's using public for personal gain. He's using public office for personal gain. Another thing I'm going to be touching on is how he deleted all the conversation and all the response emails to me and Gale Rieder's conversation, and he made it seem like Gale Rieder was just this attorney that was basically helping me out, but she had no interest in helping me out, because if she did, she would have put on evidence for me at trial, and she also would have challenged the exhibits that the prosecutor Douglas Hanson opened during the pretrial motion hearings. And I think that's another thing that when my story get out there and I'm able to talk to the Oregon Supreme Court, how they manipulated the law by saying it was pretrial motion hearings, but really they were trialing me in what's called a mock trial. Susan Tripp, as you see, corruption is real. Marion County Trial Judge Susan M. Tripp allowed Douglas C. Hanson and public defender Gale M. Rieder to hate crime in case number 14C42686, Marion County, Salem, Oregon. Then right next door to her, go upstairs to your room. Now, I got corrupted. Gale Rieder helps Douglas Hanson hate crime. It was just simple. We already know Douglas Hanson's whole spiel. What you really want to know about this situation is when I chop down these emails, and when I got these emails from the supposedly public defender Jediah Peterson for Connor and Weber, who's supposed to be appealing my PCR conviction, right? These people are all working together. There's nothing they can tell me. They paperwork speak for themselves. It's quite obvious that Douglas Hanson left the Marion County DA's office just so he can control the outpour of evidence. When you have a preponderance of evidence and you can fully show proof of it, I'm not making this crap up. I'm not telling no lies. I'm telling you that I was illegally prosecuted. My family was held as ransom in order for me to take the deal. Without them kidnapping my family, they held them for ransom, and they said the only way out of it that I take this probation deal and I'll be immediately allowed to see my wife and kids. That's cruel and unusual punishment, and it is most certainly charging you outside of the scope. If we was to look at the criminal grid, and I go over this plenty of times, but the main thing here is figuring out why this prosecutor took it upon himself, Douglas Christopher Hanson, to illegally prosecute me, and he used the public defender. And when I look at Gale Rieder's declaration letter, and I see her admitting to being an ex-judge and this and that, she knowingly knew the law. So here it is. I got two judges and a prosecutor. I don't have a lawyer that's actually defending me. I don't have a public defender. I played, before I took a break from this, I played some videos of Gale Rieder, how I wasn't even the initial person that recorded her and I first initial meeting, and right off the bat she just was against me, and I had a whole bunch of information, and inside that video you hear me explaining to her, I got everything that you got plus some. And she said maybe, she just wasn't for me. She was basically told to stay on my case by Susan M. Tripp, who's actually an ex-prosecutor out of the Marion County DA's office. So back when in 97, when Douglas Hanson came out of Willamette Law School, Susan Tripp basically took Douglas Hanson under her wings, and she schooled him on how to get up the rope pretty quick. Um, I'm happy, and I know a lot of people that follow me is happy that we made Douglas Hanson paradigm shift. Some people that know of Douglas Hanson prosecutional past and know how he plays in court, knows that he's rude, and knows that he'll do anything to be on top. That those are the things that we put a stop to as far as my case go, because I've applied so much pressure on Douglas Christopher Hanson that they not trying to reach out to me, but they are most definitely paying attention to Douglas Hanson, how he used the Department of Justice, not the Department of Community Justice, that's parole and probation. I'm talking about the Department of Justice, which is our leading attorney's office in Oregon, which is up under the Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum. And this is why I'm going to take you to Team A real quick, because it's quite obvious people don't get what I'm talking about as far as my lineups. My lineups is real serious. When I tell you this, I want people full uninvited attention on the facts. Not, oh, Matthew keep talking about Douglas Hanson. Let's just talk about Douglas Hanson team of people, how he's just using several different entities, and he's moving and positioning himself in order to get ahead. We already know that Douglas Christopher Hanson is making fake Facebooks, and he's watching, and he's pretty much seeing what I got to say and what I'm putting out there. But it's quite obvious that there's some pretty strong, powerful people playing. And I'm not one that's just gonna lie down and accept defeat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I can't be defeated, but in this battle right here that Douglas Hanson got me fighting, I'm gonna come out victorious, because there's no way that I should have been treated inhumane the way that I have. So you see my lineup, it starts with Douglas Hanson and end with Susan Tripp. All these people in between have to either answer to Douglas Hanson or Susan Tripp, and they most definitely underneath the picture that you see right underneath Douglas Hanson is involved in the Attorney General. And the reason why the Attorney General is basically on this map is because of my appeal process. My direct appeal, my PCR appeal. Her attorneys has been representing Douglas Hanson's case. But what I say about this is the fact that Douglas Hanson and the Attorney General have a big interest. She's his boss, right? He sits as the on the workshop as the domestic violence subcommittee workshop for the Department of Justice, Attorney General's task force on victim rights. He's the chairman, and he handles complaints and all that. And our complaint is that Douglas Hanson basically manipulated his position. He did things that even his own prosecuting friend Julian Jody Fisher, that you see, the woman, Julian Fisher next to Eric Hernandez. I can't point these things out, so you'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth picture in Julian Jody Fisher, she's already admitted that Douglas Christopher Hanson did not have the authority to do any of the things that he did to me. And I'm like me, my wife, and my children, we reached out to Matt DeSantos with the ACLU, every community, every county, every concern. That's just basically a bunch of bull crap, because what we uncovered with Matt DeSantos is that he's part of an LGBT political party, and they fund each other right along with Douglas Christopher Hanson. So we're going to move on to the emails that's involved in Gale Rieder. Gale Rieder have a lot of explaining to do, because when I look at her declaration letter, it is totally off track, and it will show you a better, broader picture of the people that I'm dealing with. Where is the public defender that was supposed to stand up and represent me and take into consideration that, hey, I am a human being. I do have state and federal constitutional rights. You know, none of that. You talk about a right to a fast and speedy trial, taken. You talk about due process, gone. You talk about having a preliminary hearing, forcing the DA to put on his evidence before he brings these frivolous charges. And another thing that I investigated and came up with in my investigation is the prosecutor's office. They the ones that actually subpoena people to come to do what's called jury duty, or have them for jury court. But one thing that's very important is that the prosecutor can actually stamp an indictment and take it to a grand jury of his own partners, and they do each other's a favor, because that title, grand jury and DA, if the DA is controlling that whole organization and they doing illegal things that's putting them ahead personally, and they not regularly prosecuting cases the way that they are designed to, then that's a problem. And what I found out in calling about my indictment is that they kept on saying, call the Marion County DA's office. I call the jury line. Call the Marion County DA's office. I'm like, how do the Marion County DA's office got this much power? There's no way that I would have been able to win my case. First of all, a grand jury will want to hear from this underage vulnerable victim. If it's not the underage vulnerable victim, because that's dealing with a juvenile case, right? So what happens to keep things fair and to give each person in court the right to have things moving along expeditiously is the fact that you get due process, and I was not given that. I was not given none of that. Go upstairs with that. I was not given any of that. I was given attorney after attorney. I wasn't given public defenders. I was given private counsels. They was pulling out of their 300-hour pro bono hours that they have to get through the state. And that's why you see the woman under the Attorney General, Ellen Rosenblum. You see Helen Horchabo. She is the director for the Oregon State Bar, which licensed both the Attorney General and Douglas Hanson. And when we tied her in to the four corners, because you see there's four corners. If you look at my four corners, you see Douglas Hanson, Paige Clarkson, then you see Judge Tripp, and then you see that executive director of the Oregon State Bar, Ellen Horchabo. They all is in her ear, and she's doing Susan Tripp a favor, because Susan Tripp sits on the litigation corner for civil rights at the Oregon State Bar, and I've really dug deep into them. So here we go into the paperwork stages. The emails that I was talking about. Now I'm going to be explaining this to you because along the original emails you will see that they have the letterhead, the Gmail letterhead, the logo. You'll see right here that Gmail logo. But somehow when you, I don't give a damn when you make a copy of something, because these is basically copies that I'm showing here. I don't know what happened with Gale Rieder's emails between her, and how is it fair that the prosecutor, and we talking about the Attorney General's office, is only receiving one side of the truth. That means that's the reason why I say when I talk about Douglas Hanson leaving the Marion County DA's office. You'll see my emails is the ones that got the letterhead on it, and then the emails that's to the right will be the emails that were given to the prosecutor for DOJ. Right, and Jediah Peterson is supposed to be representing this, and he's supposed to be able to allow me to aid and assist in my defense. And I'm aware of the fact that the at this stage of my appeal, since I'm appealing the post-conviction relief part of this case, right? Since I'm appealing that, and I'm basically back at square one, which is called a direct appeal, where they can't bring forth no evidence or no claims, right? What I'm saying cold-heartedly to my public defender, Jediah Peterson, is that this is a lie, that all the evidence is not there, all the emails is not there. The only emails is Gale Rieder's emails, and the reason why that happens is because we take a look at Gale Rieder's declaration, and you'll begin to see her background and how powerful she is, and how much of a favor she can call in to support this, saying that, hey, I did everything right. I told Mr. Johnson the law. I broke the law down to him. He was aware of the law, and that is like so far from the lie that she told me everything. She just don't know. People just don't know. I was giving Gale Rieder the law. I was stating the law to Gale Rieder. So what I want to do is I want to bring up Gale Rieder's declaration letter. I think that's a very important. Gale M. Rieder. And another thing about this whole paperwork is that I will firmly say to the public is that I don't believe that this is Gale Rieder writing this. I don't believe that this is Gale Rieder actual initial declaration letter. I don't believe that Gale Rieder, because she's retired, if she's retired, what is she doing writing a declaration letter in support of bull crap? And the reason why I say it's bull crap is because we gonna go through the emails, and I'm gonna show you how they took out all the response emails, but they made sure that everything Gale Rieder was saying to me, they put on record. They took everything that I had to say off, and that's cheating. That is cheating my appeal. When is somebody gonna look at that? I, Gale M. Rieder, do declare as follow. I am attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Oregon beginning in July of 1993 until my retirement of December 31st, 2017. I participate in criminal law from September. She said I practiced criminal law from September 2008 until September 2nd, 2011. I worked in Marion County as a hearing referee pro tem judge for Oregon Judicial Department. And another thing that I like to bring up about Gale Rieder's background is because when I look up Gale Rieder, I like to go ahead and bring everything up about her over here. It's just part of doing the research, because when you look at Gale M. Rieder, practice area, criminal defense 100%. And I don't go on here and give her bad interviews and try to crucify her. I go on here and just look for the evidence and tell the truth, right? So she was a criminal defense in 2011. She was a referee judge, a Marion County Circuit Court, Salem, Oregon, from 2008 to 2011. So she was both a criminal defense attorney and a judge at the same time, right? Managing attention, Rieder Law, Employment Department, Multnomah Defenders, Inc., Portland, Oregon. So she's been around for a long time. And you mean to tell me somehow Douglas Hanson and Susan Tripp done screwed this lady over to where she went into early retirement? She went into early retirement because of what they did to her. I would be sad if I was Gale Rieder. She didn't deserve it, but she was told to stay on my case no matter what. No matter what. She didn't have a chance to get off my case because Susan Tripp, right? And you will see that's in her own declaration letter that she's saying this. That she's saying it. So I never really stood a chance, right? Right here. I have represented clients on charges ranging from minor misdemeanors to murder. I have represented clients in many jury trials, every level, right? This just don't even sound. This don't even look like a declaration format from a attorney who knows the law, because when I look at my wife's declaration and I see how it is and everything, I mean, I can be speculating here, but I know that Douglas Hanson's name is all in this. This is the same paperwork. This is the same paperwork that's on every piece of paper in my case. All of it. All of it is the same. All of it. We're going to get off of that because the whole motive is to expose these emails. To expose these emails and let people know of the burden that's on my life. Is that let's just Look at this word for word. This is an original email right here. You looking at my original email. You looking at the email that Douglas Hanson and them got as an exhibit, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that, hey, this is Gale Rieder from Gale Rieder from Gale Rieder. Everything got to add up. Already, what I'm saying to them is, what happened? Quit running.
How was it?
I want to know what happened to the letterhead. What happened to that letterhead? If this is a copy from the original documentation and it was this is my print off date, so I printed it off. I was on there. Yeah, I printed it off at 6/11/2015 at 12:36 p.m. I printed it off. But that's a big deal. What happened to that letterhead? It still reads the same as follow, but what I'm looking for is all technicalities. I'm not looking just for the missing letterhead. I'm looking for the fact that it doesn't say Monday. It doesn't say Monday, June 1st, 2015 at 10:35 a.m. That's gone off of there. It's down here, right? So you know something is up. Somebody is moving something around and orchestrating something in another email server, and they moving it around in order to make them seem like they telling the truth. And people could say that I'm crazy or not, but look at where does this line come from? That means somebody took something and put a piece of paper on top of something and actually basically remade the email. That's somebody is Douglas Hanson. That's the first technicality that I got. And if you look from the original page right here, there's no page 1 of 3. There's none of that up there. This is an original document. This is pretty much authentic. Without this original document, then Douglas Hanson can't duplicate a copy one and call it an exhibit, right? And when I went and typed this link in, I got to give y'all to a server. When I went and typed this link in, it took me to a whole nother server, which told me where Douglas Hanson was writing emails from. Hey babe, I didn't even see this. Look, he got it dated like a dummy too. How did I find that out, y'all? So it's word for word, but we'll get back to this little corrupted part right here. I think I should do it right now. Hold on. What we gonna do is show you how Douglas Hanson corrupted these emails right here, right? So what I gotta do is, I just wanna hold you right now. So what we gonna do, since we can't copy and paste this, we gotta do it. Write it, and it's gonna take you to a secret server, right? It's gonna take you to a secret server that's a communicational log that I never even knew about, right? And I'm like, where is this taking me? So what I'm gonna do is type that in. You will see webmail dot. I already have it. All we doing is typing in that domain right there. I'm doing this hella slow. That's wrong. That's supposed to be LE. Then is the dot JSP question mark MS. And this is like coding. And this what my wife be talking about she gonna do. Let's see, is this the, and then it's 3 8 9 2, what is it, 7, okay, X equal 3 8 9 2 equals 1 8 7 1 0 9 8 8. So now what we're gonna do is hit enter. Hit enter. No. See what it takes you to? This private email server. And you have to obviously have a password, be aware of COVID-19 scams to better protect yourself. I, of course, don't have an email way here. So this was telling me that the emails came from here, right? These emails came from here. So whoever was controlling these emails right here, it's impossible. It's impossible because if you look at the originals, it does not support that. It comes from a Google. Let's see. It comes from a Google domain. It's not letting me move. You'll see that it won't let me move it. And we could do that too. I could type in this long penal code, but it ain't gonna matter because the original copy comes from Gmail, Google. It doesn't come from over here. Douglas Hanson probably got an Outlook. It will take me forever to explain to you who's controlling this email. right? But I know for a fact that my emails, my original emails, did not come from there. They did not come from there. So now what I did was I went through these emails, and of course I had to, because I had to compare word for word to make sure ain't nothing missing. I know for a fact that the emails is already corrupted. Period, point blank. So now what I go do is I go, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, I was out of my office, da da da. And it's very important that you gotta read all this. You have to read all of this, because if you overlook something that he might potentially took out, like I will show you it, later on down in the line, that if you don't pay attention to his corruption, he takes out words and he makes it seem as if you agreeing to the bull crap. And I mean, he looking good on doing this. And Gale Rieder should be ashamed of herself for allowing Douglas Hanson to even use her emailing to contact me. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at everything to make sure. Yes, you do have. Yes, you do have a hearing pending on June 26, 2015. So what we doing is 2015 at 9. You see, if it's a copied email, it will read just like my copy, and it will look just the same. Somehow, when it got over to the Department of Justice, it's different, right? So RS 131. So this is basically Gale Rieder talking to me, talking to Mr. Johnson, me. And what I'm looking for is here. Because I explained to her the fruit of the poisonous tree. So there's some emails prior to these emails, but I started with the emails that they sent over to the Department of Justice, and for them to represent Douglas Hanson hate crime. Douglas Hanson lying to his own people. That's the thing that I don't get right here. You are charged with promoting prostitution. Okay? So we'll come down to right here. And you can tell that the date is real, and that he went to another server. He was not part of the Gmail. And this is corruption right here, because Gmail is supposed to protect my privacy for that. They're not supposed to let somebody from webmail.earthlink.net come and swoop in on my emails and take them and alter them and make them look as if, they good, when really they not. Get out of there now. Put that back now. Get out of here. Go upstairs.
Cousin, you forgot something. Look, this one. Jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. No, I don't need to match master. I like playing hustler. I'll see you later when you're done.
I ain't done talking about these emails. Look at this right here. Finally, I've received new information from the Deputy District Attorney's heading your case. He has sent over offer sheet to me extending offers of probation on each of the 2 charges pending against you. Should you choose to plead guilty to each charge, the sentence on each will be 36 months of supervised probation with certain terms and conditions. You will have a prison sentence suspended in a range of 35 to 40 months, which will be imposed if your probation was violated and revoked. And I've been through plenty of probation violation hearings, right? I will certainly review the proposed conditions of your probation with you. If you are interested in those offers of resolution. The evidence against you is strong. This is my public defender talking to me supposedly, telling me how the evidence that was illegally obtained against me is strong. Even they exposed themselves in their own cross-examination of charges. So, right there, you see, I'm trying to line it up. Right there, that's a lie. Your pending Marion County case charges. See how I will see you at our meeting on June 8th. And that's right here. I will see you at our meeting on June 8th to discuss the state evidence against you and potential defense and the plea offer at this time. And again, how is the same emails coming from 2 different? It don't make no sense. Gale Rieder is writing me on a Gmail account. She's not writing me from there. Because if this was a copy, and they got a copy, it will look the same. They didn't want to use my copies because my copies I wrote on top of them. See, I knew all along. That's why I said, this is also Douglas Hanson and Gale Rieder's emails. Corruption. Douglas Hanson was trying to talk to me as my public defender. That's why I said, So, here go a response to that email that you don't see over here. Douglas Hanson took it out. He took it out. It's not adding up. He tried to delete my emails too, because this later on down the line, this is what he was going to do to me. He was going to stick it to me, screw me over. But I'm telling the public defender that there's missing evidence, so how can you properly represent me And you're not seeing all the truth. You only seeing half the truth. Yeah, you can't put on new evidence and you can't say that, but you can file a motion saying, hey, there's insufficient evidence here. Matthew's side is missing a whole bunch of evidence. Matthew did respond to those emails that was written by Gale Rieder. Why is they missing? None of those questions. None of those questions is getting asked by this public defender. Hello, Gale Rieder. Right? Remind you, we still in June 1st. I'm still contacting her. I'm still writing her in emails. So, they June 1st email has a response to it, and they took that response out of it. That June 1st email, right? She signed it right there. That's the end of her email. It's right here. That's the end of her email, right? So then me, Matthew Johnson, to Gale Rieder Law Office at Teleport, right? Let me show you. You see how there's jumped to June 2nd, 2015, and there's no response email from Matthew Johnson? They took it away. I wonder why they took it away. So let's give them the response email in between this June 2nd, because Douglas Hanson forget that I got that email. I got everything that I was saying. It's timed, it's stamped, it's dated, it's through Gmail. So when you cheat, Douglas Hanson, you might as well give it up, bruh. You're caught. It's over. You've been cheating for a long time. Somebody gonna catch you. They're gonna be looking at my information and they're gonna be like, that man is telling the truth. Somebody really need to question Douglas Hanson. They really do. According to what you said, this is me to Gale Rieder. Since they don't want to show the truth and they cheated me in my appeal, look, according to what you said, that you don't have a legal basis to file a motion for change of venue, and that you understand that you believe it wouldn't solve my case for me, but simply have no legal basis to file such a motion. How is there no motion to change venue when it clearly says this is in the Oregon law? Get out of there. Get out of there now. Your mom said leave that down here. So I went back and I found the law. And it was called motion for change of venue when made. A motion of change of venue may be made in any criminal action in the circuit court when the case is at issue upon a question of fact. And they knew this. They knew at least there was evidence of her being in Salem, not Mr. Johnson. And he said that in. I don't like to try to sound like them. I like to give the cold-hearted facts. It's one of my favorite videos of all time. Get out of here.
So at least there was evidence.
It was evidence
that she was incensed.
Yeah, that's it. That she was. Yes.
And she indicated as such in that ad that she had placed.
So at least there was evidence of her. And that's where my argument began with Susan Tripp. And she the one that even brung it up. And what Susan Tripp didn't know is that I was arguing with Gale Rieder in emails about the same very issue. So can you please explain to Sorry, I was on a phone call, but y'all, I didn't kill the email, so hopefully y'all was reading. So where was I at? Basically, I'm chopping Gale Rieder up. We putting together a motion for change of venue, and I'm explaining to her at the time of my arrest, I was not in my state of mind due to the fact that I was under medications of metformin. So I don't know what I really said to the police officers. Another thing is when where is Hernandez affidavit for the interview? Because I know that Roger Smith took money off of me, in which I have a supporting check providing that it's not from illegal activity. I also have a lawyer that can prove that the $1,200 was left over from a $16,000 check. And why are you not entering that as evidence? I asked Gale Rieder. I asked her in emails and emails. Now, Douglas Hanson do not want them to know about these emails. He don't want nobody to know what he did. But you know what? When you fighting for your life and you fighting for your innocence, you will do everything in your power to make sure people understand what's going on. Of course, I'm working off a MacBook, right? But that's not the problem here. His email didn't jump to June 2nd, 2015. He's missing so much emails in between. So prostitution. If I told Hernandez that I hold with my wife, then why am I being charged with promoting and not prostitution? Since Hernandez has verbal statements from me that I prostitute with her, and another concern is I can't be a prostitute and a pimp. So which one is it? Did I hold with her? Did I hold with her? Or did I promote her? Or did I promote her? I can't do both. Since they are trying to use my wife's supposed statements, then why didn't she go to a grand jury and testify that these statements were true? Why is it only these officers testifying on me? Right? So I'm basically right here. I'm basically exposing Douglas Hanson about never going to any grand jury in order to get an indictment. None of these officers on here can testify firmly to ever going to a grand jury. Even Eric Hernandez and Roger Smith. They can't go in front of a real judge and say, yeah, Douglas Hanson took me in front of a grand jury and they came back with this formal indictment against Matthew Johnson in the case 14C42686. Jessica Johnson, and it says Jessica Johnson as a witness, where she didn't attend the grand jury to testify on her verbal statement. So, but yeah, only two officers went to the grand jury, Smith and Hernandez. Why didn't the other officers go and verbally told their version of what happened with the substantial evidence to the crime that they are trying to charge me with? So these are some of the emails that's missing, that's not in my appeal. That's what I'm saying. I have no help. I have no chance. I have no protection. I have no equal liberty. Shut up. Go upstairs. Go. Give me this. I went on to ask Gale Rieder, so did you privately pay for a psych evaluation just for me to take a probation offer? I'm very curious on why such a different tune from the DA. Why are you sending me his penal codes, and why don't you have legal basis? So if I promoted my wife, you are basing this information off unknowingly with the intent to promote prostitution, receive money from a prostitute. So where is the proof of my wife handing me money when she clearly states that she loads them onto various credit cards and that they are prepaid. So again, how and when do she give me money, and can the DA prove that other than as a prostitute being compensated for personal revenue prostitution activity pursuant to an agreement that money was divided from a prostitution activity? Where did my wife and I agree to financially agree from her rendering prostitution activity? I wrote. So you'll see right here of me forwarding it. That's the June 13th. I'm forwarding it to someone. I'm forwarding these emails to a person named Nicholas Ryan Peterson. He had an email called Rampant Lion 667 at Gmail. So that's where you see the forward. I gotta remind you that in the original emails, there's a lot that's going on before we reach June 2nd date on the information Douglas Hanson. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to get through this whole video. There's no way. I'm gonna give you guys enough. So I'm gonna give you guys enough. Cause we're still on June 1st. And I'm asking her, Mr. Johnson, I did not pay for the psychological evaluation. Payments from the psychological evaluation was authorized and paid for by the PDSC. That's a lie. Attached is a copy of the letter I wrote requesting payment of evaluation and application. Also enclosed is the PDSC authorization for payment of Dr. Sweet. I have not released Dr. Sweet report either to either the deputy district attorney or the courts. I have only reported that the doctor found you able to aid and assist. I will not release the report without your express authorization. Now, how am I supposed to know when to tell a person that's against me to release my medical? You're supposed to automatically do that, Gale Rieder, because that's the reason why you made me take the medical evaluation. As to the motion to change of venue, although a statute may authorize the filing of a motion, it could be a waste of time without legal basis. Filing a motion for change of venue is a waste of time in your case. They wanted it to stay right in Marion County, even though they knew Susan Tripp and Douglas Hanson admitted.
So at least there was evidence.
There was evidence
That she was insane.
Yeah, that's it. That she was.
Yes, the 15.
Yes.
And she indicated as such in that ad that she had placed.
It had nothing to ever do with me, but somehow they kept on saying it, and it was a waste of time because it's Douglas Hanson. There's no way that my own public defender that's supposed to be representing me is just talking to me all manly through the emails, talking to me like I ain't got no sense, like I'm not paying attention, right? I am looking at whether there's significant medical support to file a motion to suppress your statements. I will keep you apprised of my decision. Appraised of my decision. Gale Rieder. You see, there it go again. This is Douglas Hanson talking in Gale Rieder's emails. Corruption. Gale Rieder allowed this to go on for months. Why? And I'm like curious to see their face when they see me on the other side of the court, saying I've been busting y'all. I've been paying attention to y'all for a long time. Look at this. And here I am responding, and again, they missing emails. They not telling the whole truth. They not telling the whole truth because Douglas Hanson know I was residing the law to Gale Rieder. I was innocent the whole time. I said there is more than enough reason to change the venue, and it would not be a waste of time to file this motion on my behalf due to the fact of my case. The DA charged my wife with the crime of prostitution. She paid, right? And you hear Gale Rieder in these emails tell me, right, that it's a waste of time to file a motion for change of venue. But you'll hear Susan Tripp say, as to the motion to change venue, that motion is to deny it. So she did, in fact, have a chance to fight the motion for change of venue, but she didn't do it because
the first time when the officer, this case is going to go to trial, we all know that. This case is going to go to motions, we all know that. So let's all share information so that all the information gets on the record if that's appropriate. Okay?
And if it's appropriate, right? And they know it's appropriate to put the information on. You cannot use half of the information and not question the fact of, well, what was Mr. Johnson's response to these emails? How can they get away with filing this and making it to where judges see this and say, hey, well, he admitted to it, I guess, when really I didn't?
You have to register as a sex offender on prostitution?
Yes, Your Honor, that's yes.
Yes. An offer on the table. I don't know anything about your criminal history. Hold on. Right. I don't know basically anything about this case except that the charges are. Okay. I don't know anything about you.
So Douglas Hanson just was not being 100 with Gale Rieder or Susan Tripp, and these is his buddy old friend.
And what is the state's offer?
Thank you, Your Honor. On count one,
They've put their offer on. There's something Mr. Johnson called an Alfred plea. Yes.
Listen to this.
I'm aware of the Alfred plea, and that's admitting guilt. And again, Jessica Kimfey was a attorney on my case, and she was the one that introduced it to me. And I told her, no, I've been asking to go to trial since I've been arrested in May of 2014. You know, and I've been through several of these attorneys, and each and every one of them know that I don't want the offer. I'm found guilty for, if, like I tell them, if falling in love and marrying a prostitute is a crime, then give me life, hang me, do whatever you want, you know. But to sit here and and have these false accusations towards me is completely wrong. And
So I never was given a chance, no matter what I said, no matter if I said, hey, they cheated me in my emails, hey, she's doing this, hey, they what I didn't understand is that they all was collaborating together and they all had been, and you see that we haven't even got to the second, right? Because there's a lot of conversation going on. Eventually, I forward the information again to Nicholas Peterson. So here, let's take a look at, we still on June, because we had a lot of conversation before we got to June 2nd, 2015. So if you pay attention right here where it says Gale Rieder reply, and then it says to Doug Hanson. See, Douglas Hanson had to clean this all up. He had to clean it all up. That's why he couldn't use certain emails, because it implicated him in a CC with me in it. Douglas Hanson. Douglas Hanson. And you gotta understand that his whole mission is to make me look like I'm guilty of the charges that he charged me with, which is a lie. Like I said, Gale Rieder said, Mr. Hanson. She didn't even write this to me. She CC'd me into an email with Douglas Hanson. So she basically said, replied to him, writer, to Douglas Hanson, and she CC'd me into the email. Mr. Hanson, I did receive a plea offer sent to me regarding Mr. Johnson based upon his emails to me and his public postings on his two Facebook pages, Matthew M. Johnson Jr. and Cashman Johnson. It is my belief that Mr. Johnson will not accept your plea offer. I tried so many times. People keep on saying, why you take the deal? They forced it on me. They bagged me in the corner. I had no choice because they knew that they had messed up. They knew they violated my rights. They knew it all. They knew, and the only way that they can cover that is by forcefully forcing me into taking a deal, spying, don't pay, not acting as my attorney. This is an ethical violation because there's no way that Gale Rieder should be wanting to CC me in anything dealing with the prosecutor. She's my public defender. Anything that she say to me is supposed to be between me and her, not me, her, and the prosecutor. And that's why, and we still on June 1st. He's missing a lot of this. Gale Rieder is spying on me and my family and friends on Facebook for the DA. I just couldn't grasp what was going on to me then, but now when I look back on it, he's missing his letterhead. So we know that I'm chopping him. I'm chopping them in these emails. I did some research and I'm very confused on why didn't the DA file charges within 2 to 3 days. Where is my arrest report? Like, there's so much that I was saying to them in these emails about what Douglas Hanson. For what I have read, it seems to me that it's the district attorney, right? Discretion on whether he wants to move forward or whether to charge the defendant, which is me. The prosecutor often runs for office and kneeling aware of the imaging of prosecution and parties. So, to make a long story short, I am chopping Douglas Hanson head off. Where was I at? The prosecutor often runs for office and keep kneeling aware of the images prosecuting in particular offenses send to the community and does it and a bad image of him. So I basically in this email was basically chopping Gale Rieder up, telling him about Douglas Hanson in the emails, and then I was explaining to him. I also went back. This is very interesting right here, and I know you guys don't really want me to read this whole thing, so I give y'all about 5 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds mute time to So right here when I was explaining I want to change the venue because they are prejudiced and racist down there in Salem. That's what I mean by down there, and you know it. So I don't think it. I don't think that it's a waste of time to change the venue. Why would you ask me what motions would I like to file? But then when I say what motions I would like you first lie and say how you do not have legal basis to file a motion for venue, but then on another email it's a waste of time. Wow, what happened to you are splitting up the charges in desperate conduct. Have done some research. I'm basically here go my research. So this next letter, and you see that I got a tremendous amount of emails to go through. I'm not gonna get through all these emails, and I'm sorry for that because we've been on here for quite a long time. How a criminal case gets filed, the arrest report, charges must be filed, whether to prosecute, right? And I'm telling them the grand jury role. I'm explaining this all in an email to Gale Rieder, right? This email, and then when I when I explained that to her, she then wrote me back, right? She said the issues you discussed were explained to you at length by David Kuhn, as set out in the emails posted on your website. I'm not going to address those issues again. She could not address none of these issues. She couldn't address how grand jurors work, the grand jurors' roles, because it was missing. It wasn't bagging up to none of the paperwork. So I kept on writing her. You know. And again, it's all on the Google. I don't know where these emails, how they did it, how they trapped them up, but I'm telling you, they did. And the reason why I'm contacting her right here and I'm saying I'm a bit confused. How did you know what Kuhn and I discussed in emails if you didn't have contact with him? And as you already know, Josh James have been the one recording, right? She told me that she never spoke to David Coons. So she is just basically catching herself up, and everywhere I caught Gale Rieder up at is deleted from their little side, their little story. They not giving y'all the full story. I got the full story. They emails against mine is like, so June 2nd, 2015. See where it's not adding up at. This says June 2nd. 10:52. I didn't talk to her. June 2nd, 10:52. Cause look what she writes me. She writes me. Okay. So this is an email before this email coming to play. Let's look at it right here. Mr. Johnson, I know about David Coon's email because you post them on Facebook, on your public Facebook website for anyone to read. If you have concerns about my representation, you should address those concerns to Tripp, which I did. As I told you in previous emails, an attorney is required to keep a client reasonably informed. That does not include reporting to numerous emails each day. I have case preparation to do. That includes deciding which way is the best way to utilize the information I have about physical condition before and during the arrest. I am researching whether a motion should be filed regarding that information. Again, you will be supplied with copies of any motions filed in your case. Gale Rieder. So she starts to get sloppy because she don't even sign her name the same. And I'm eventually catch Douglas Hanson up in my emails. So here go their email. June 2nd, 2000. Here go theirs against mine. So that paragraph adds up. That paragraph. So what I'm trying to do is figure out those rules require. So you're looking at it right here. I'm up here. Those rules require me to consult. Those rules require me to consult with you. Again, that's what I'm saying. That's how I know that this man corrupted my emails, because there's a whole lot missing right here. All of this is not in there. So you come right here, information, and then you see right here, it stops right there. It says providing information, providing information to you when necessary, providing information. See, it's not there. A whole bunch of the emails is gone. Gale Rieder's emails is messed up. Like, you can tell, like, providing information. If this was a copy directly from me, everything right here would be on there. So let's see where it says that the this is where I'm gonna read where it started missing that information to you when necessary. And then it says, however, you see on his paragraphs it says testifying on your behalf at trial, right? So we gotta look for all the missing stuff in there, and it's right in here. It's right in your our face. However, as you have been informed, the Oregon State Bar is the letter sent to you dated April 16. Oregon Supreme Court held that the attorney does not have to suspend her professional judgment because the strategy, tactic, and manners of the defense are for counsel determined based upon the experience of professional skills and judgment. And then Kramer Maker versus Galt Jeffer. So where did he get this email at? He put a whole different paragraph inside an email that ain't even the original. I'm looking for testifying on your behalf. It is important to remember that if you testify, okay? So I'm sure you understand the rule 1.2. He took all that out. You have already answered the first question by entering not guilty phase on both charges by rejecting district attorney's plea offer. See, I now need you to consider whether you want to waive trial by jury and have the judge act as a fact finder in your case. The district attorney has filed a notice of intent to seek longer sentence in your case. The notice is called a blankly enhancement notice. If you are found guilty of either one or both charges, there will be a second part of the trial during which the district attorney will attempt to convince the fact finder that you deserve a sentence that is longer than the presumptive sentence. The district attorney will use information about your past and your behavior. You should consider whether you want to waive jury for either the first part of the trial, the guilty phase, or the second part, whether an enhanced sentence is possible. If you do not make a decision to waive jury, the trial will be with the jury determining both the guilt phase and whether there are facts to support a longer sentence. The jury will notice decide. The jury will not decide what sentence you receive, just whether there is a fact that supports a judge dealing to give you a longer sentence. As you find, you must make a decision about whether you want to testify on your own behalf at trial. Remember that if you testify. So he took out this whole thing right here. He took out this whole paragraph because now it's going to get in it. It says, remember that if you testify in the course, remember that if you testify, the fact finder, judge, or jury will be told your past criminal history. Any felony convictions within the past 15 years. I'm almost done with this video. I gotta show them the missing evidence, and y'all up there tripping. I'm giving you 2 serious things to think about. Please think these over. If you have additional questions regarding this decision, please do not hesitate to email those to me. I attempt to answer them in a timely manner. In the meantime, I have begun work on which motion should be filed in your case. I will, of course, send you copies of any documents filed with the court on your behalf. I will also CC you on email sent to Douglas Christopher Hanson, which is a bad idea. It's a bad idea right there, reading your case and providing you with copies of any letters. He basically took out all of Gale Rieder's emails. These emails is corrupted. They have to know that. They been cheating me. Cheating my appeal. You cannot do that. And then you try to make it look good too. You try to make it look real good when you're doing it. You see that? How is it? How I can't go back and delete none of this. Once you hit print on it and it prints out, that's what you get. How did Douglas Hanson corrupt it and take it all out? See right there? And you can tell that he was cheating the emails and he was taking stuff out because it's all not there. It's all not there. He took this part out. Why people don't see that, I don't know. He took that part out. He took a very important key information out to support his lie over here. Corrupting. This is how I know it's him. Let's go June 2nd. And then he took this out because this is my response to that. Did I commit the crime on the state? Because it seems like I'm going up against 2 police officers and their hearsay comments to a grand jury. I asked you to put on a motion for change of venue and you told me that it was a waste of time, but I'm the client and per your own rules you said you listened to rather the defendant, you listen to what say. I have provided all my public defenders with my medical, providing that I was sick, proving that I was sick 4 days prior to my arrest. No, none of my public defenders have entered into the courts for my own defense. And then you have been turning away all my support, trying to get me to talk to you alone as if it's a trap to get get me to believe that the state have all this evidence on me. That's an email that he deleted. And this is Douglas Hanson again, right here, because you'll see how he's talking. He's talking with such anger towards me. The public defender did not want to help me. You are clearly uncomfortable meeting with me in confidential settings, so I'm canceling our meeting set Monday, June 8th, June 8th at 10 a.m. at the Oregon State Bar. I will use the extra time to work on case preparation. Please consider the question I have proposed to you in my last email. I have no intentions on spending any time trying to convince you to enter in the plea. I'm focusing all my efforts on preparing your case. And this is Douglas Hanson. That's why his evidence is all in there. He's trying to make it seem like Gale Rieder is just basically telling me, but they not showing the response. That's what I'm not understanding. Like I said, none of my questions have been answered. That's why I keep asking them. They would not help me at all. They would never help me. Douglas Hanson and them was missing a lot of emails. He only used certain emails, and when he used those emails, he made sure that they was applying to him. Even in this one, it says it. A lot of this stuff is gone. It's emails that's gone because he know I was sending away a lot of stuff dealing with his plea offer, all that. How he tried to resend it. I chopped him about all this to Gale Rieder. Right? And what we looking for? See, there's a lot of emails missing before we get to his next email, June. There's a lot. Man. So this email right here, right? And you can see that this is evidence right here. This email is to give you an update on research and trial strategy planning at beginning for your case. I have reviewed all the relevant material, including all the materials provided to me by David Cohn. Those materials included some reports about your physical condition at the time of your arrest, an interview of June 18, 2014 of your wife Jessica Uriah Johnson by Pamela Bierenbach, and the investigator for public defenders of Marion County. I have been considering whether to file a motion to attempt to prevent your wife from testifying under ORS 4.40.255 husband-wife privilege. This rule reads as follows: in any criminal proceedings, neither spouse during the marriage shall be examined adversely against the other as to any other matters occurring during the marriage, unless the spouse is called as a witness, consent to testify. Right? This privilege applies, and we could likely keep Jessica from testifying under the facts of your case. It is unlikely that a judge will consider her the victim. However, the second consideration is whether we truly want to keep Jessica from testifying. You are charged with promoting prostitution, for knowingly with the intent to promote prostitution, receive money pursuant to an argument that, and they just kept on trying to drain me with the law, and See, it's not the same web browsers. His is coming from the controlled web browser, and mine's coming from a legit one. Stop! And you could see he deleted more of the emails. He deleted more of the emails because that's not all of it that paid 1,200 in payment. All that is there. All that is there. All that is there. And it's only from Gale Rieder. But you see where he signed her name? It's not adding up, Doug. So it bounced all the way down to June 29th. After that, June 7th. But there's a lot of conversation that happens before we even get to that situation. A lot goes down here, and I'm just going to speed up through this. This is in fact Gale Rieder's handwriting. All these missing emails. Douglas Hanson, you gotta know that I was smart. You have to know that. You have to. And what we're trying to get to is this. See, he's not letting y'all know that I'm talking. My emails is in front of theirs, and I was asking them questions, but you'll see his emails. But my emails is missing. He did such a horrible job. See, and then he put that. There it goes. This is missing. Anything that I said to them from mine with my signature on it is missing. Trust me. definitions that will be used at trial. All my evidence don't matter, so it's just about what they can provide, not what the defendant is saying. He missing a whole lot of this information because he know I was chopping them up. That's why. So it's two different conversations going on. And he ain't will. He skipped it. And then he copied this. He just put together a whole story and turned it into exhibits. And they not even truthful exhibits. That's what I'm saying. There's falsified documents. He holding out. Douglas Hanson is holding out the whole truth behind the scenes because he know what I'm telling is the truth. I'm telling the truth, bro. Been telling the truth. You'll see all this is me spitting them knowledge about the law that they work in, and they still made a choice to cover Douglas Hanson. I sent them a tremendous amount of evidence. I sent them timeless evidence of keeping me free of this, and still no help. None. Let's see. Right here. We knew that they was gonna corrupt the emails, so we already made notes on them. I did talk to Hanson. He is not willing to reduce the promoting charge to prostitution charge. He is, however, willing for you to enter no contest to both charges and set over sentences, then have a evaluation to discern to determine whether what sex offender conditions you need to be applied to you. That did not happen. None of this. He is now willing to reduce the criminal prostitution charge. He is, however, willing to say over for you to enter pleas of no contest of both charges. he will agree during the time you are waiting to go do the evaluation. I'm still waiting to do the evaluation. None of it is done. None of it. And that's my moral of my story. And I'm going to leave it at that right here. I'm going to let you guys see the end. There's a whole bunch of emails that's left out of this. And that's just examples. So thank you guys for watching. It's been an honor. Always remember, keep yourself safe and stand up and fight the corruption. Don't go against the team, the A team of people. Always remember that you have the rights and the ability to stand up. It's your boy Matthew Johnson. It's been an honor to share this moment of time with you guys. Please follow me, like, share, do that whole thing that everybody asks you to do. I'll be coming back pretty soon to share more of these live streams.